Best Christmas ever!
Such an awesome thing just to hear people's stories and how God weaves together our stories in our community here at Hope City. Good morning, my name is Justin. I'm one of the pastors here, and so glad that you guys are here today. I love Gloria and DG just sharing their story, and they have a unique experience. And each week of the series, we're going to get to hear from different families here at Hope City and what made their Christmas the best Christmas ever. And so I'm looking forward to that. If you're a guest with us today, as Jeremy said, so excited that you're here. I know you could be a lot of different places, and we're just honored to share these moments with you today as we kick off this series called The Best Christmas Ever. And I know many of you guys were traveling last week, and so we have a board of directors meeting this coming Wednesday. And so over the last month or so, we've been talking about these commitment cards to help us project our giving for 2019. So if you weren't here last week to turn those in, I know that several of you weren't because we had about 20 of them turned in, okay? And so maybe you're all just like, I ain't doing that. So anyway, if you're a guest with us today, this isn't for you, but if you call Hope City your home, there's extra cards back at Guest Central. It would help us tremendously during our board of directors meeting on Wednesday to have an accurate projection of our budget for next year, for 2019, and really just to make a commitment together, a covenant together that we're going to grow in our generosity next year. And so I'm excited to see how these turn out. Haven't looked at them, haven't tallied it. I'm going to announce all that next week or in the coming weeks as we formulate our 2019 budget. But I'm just appreciative of your guys' generosity and how we've grown as a church over the last couple months, really. And so I want to talk to you this morning before we dive into the message just about how we're going to be generous during this Christmas season. This is the third Christmas that we've had together as a church. For those of you who may be new, we're a 2-year-old church. We just turned 2 in September, and so we celebrated 3 Christmases together. And each year we try to grow in our generosity during the Christmas season. And so our first Christmas together, we gave $4,000 to an organization called Convoy of Hope, and that was our Christmas offering. That was great because our offering was about $4,000 a month, and so it was like a monthly gift to that organization. And last year, we provided Christmas through our small groups, actually through our connection groups, through a giving tree. And so we provided Christmas for 3 families last Christmas, and our year-end offering went to this building. Right? And so we came together. We've only been in this building a little over a year, about a year and a month. And so we said, hey, we need $50,000 to move into the building. And so we gave that in October. And then our giving for the month of December was $50,000 as well. And so as we started praying about what our year-end gift looks like this year for our Give Hope offering, that's what we call it every single year, Give Hope Christmas offering. I've got a couple of things I want to share with you. As you leave, there is a giving tree out there and in the cafe, and it has ornaments on it that are actually gifts. And those gifts range from a toy for a 6-year-old boy to a clothing item to gift wrap. We're going to provide Christmas for 3 families, okay? So there's 140 different gifts out there. And like I said, they range in price from a few dollars to maybe $20. So it's not going to be an extravagant amount of money for most of us to be able to provide Christmas. And so I want you to go out after the service, take 1 or 2 of those ornaments, and then we're going to bring those gifts back on the 16th of December unwrapped, because we're going to allow the parents to wrap those gifts. That's why we're giving wrapping paper. So that the parent can actually be a part of this process and give their kids Christmas gifts on Christmas morning. And so that's the first step of our Give Hope Christmas offering, is just that giving tree out there. And as we started praying about our strategic partners and what we want to do here at the year end, most nonprofit organizations receive between 20 and 35% of their yearly budget in the month of December. So we know that year-end giving is a huge thing, especially for our community. And so we started talking about what it looks like to partner with Urban Act Academy. Many of you know, a couple weeks ago, we took 58 Thanksgiving baskets to Urban Act. And as we were walking around, we got a tour of the school. I was with the headmaster. Her name is Nigina. And I said, Nigina, we're going to do a Christmas offering at Hope City. And I said, it's going to be, I believe it's going to, in faith, it's going to be a good amount of money. And the good news is we already have the money. The bad news is you have it right now. But anyway, I said, if you had $5,000 to $6,000 of a one-time gift, like, do you guys need like new projectors? Do you need like new TVs? Do you need stuff for your classrooms? She got tears in her eyes. And she said, if I had $5,000 to $6,000, I would buy every single student at this school a new pair of shoes. She said they walk to school in shoes that are too small, too big, hand-me-downs, leftovers. They have holes in them. She said some of the kids are in and out of foster care, so that their clothes and their shoes get left behind or don't get taken with them. And I got tears in my eyes. Because when our kids came to live with us, they had one pair of shoes. The kids that we adopted last year, and they were from the Goodwill. And so I knew how important this was. And she's like, you would not believe the level of confidence that a new pair of shoes would give to a child. And I said, oh, I believe it, all right? Like, this is a match made in heaven, all right? Like, I know what you're talking about. I love shoes. And so let me lay this out for you. The Christmas offering is going to run through December 1st. Our goal is going to be $70,000. We're going to give the first 10% of that, and we're going to buy 300 kids a brand new pair of shoes. And as I say that out loud, I made a call. There's a gentleman that goes to church here. His name's Connor Prius, and he works for Adidas. And I said, what if we wanted to buy 300 pairs of shoes? What type of help could you give us? And so he went to his boss, and Adidas has agreed to give us 300 pairs of shoes at wholesale cost. So we'll get them as cheap as you possibly can. And Nigina is compiling a list of every single student's shoe size. And so we'll have that. Here's what's scary. If you go down next, Matt, to the thing, we have about the need is about a $40,000 giving deficit to make up before December 31st. As we go into the new year, we need that as a church for operating expenses. Here's the thing that scares me, and I just want to, it pumps me up too. I'm kind of crazy this way. We have to spend this before we get this. Right? Like, we have to spend the $7,000 in order to get these kids shoes before Christmas break. We have to believe that we're going to get the rest of it and spend the first part of it. And so I'm shaking right now because I'm just so excited about it, because it's like the first faith thing that we've done since we moved into this building. And so it seems maybe a little irresponsible, but I don't mind that. But I just think it's going to be an awesome testimony. And so I was telling some people that were here decorating the church. Can we give the people who decorated the church just a huge round of applause? Looks so good. So then we want to, so here's how the $70,000 is going to break down. $40,000 to make up our giving deficit for the year. $10,000, we want to transform this area over here into church offices, and we need we have spent about $8,000 total on this building since we moved in. And so all of the renovations last year cost us $8,000. And so we have not really spent a dime on that. And we want to help this area over here to become church offices so that we're here a lot more during the week and have a place for you to go. And then going into the new year, I'd love to have 1 month of rent actually in reserve. We chewed through our reserves this summer. We have $0 right now in savings. And so to know that we had $13,000 sitting in a savings account, when things do get bad in January, when you're paying off your Christmas, we'll have that sitting there. And so I was casting vision to a few people this week and talking about this, and one gentleman was like, "Oh, count me in." He's like, "I'm going to donate some stock." And so he sent us a stock donation this week. We have an account set up, so if that's a method that you want to give, that's awesome. I'd love to talk to you about that. You can email me. I can give you more information about that. But here's the main thing is we're going to move forward in faith, trusting that God is going to show up. And then we're going to come together and we're going to compile 300 pairs of shoes. And we're going to take them down to Urban Act Academy, and we're going to be able to gift that to every single student at what was School 14. That's now an Urban Act Academy. And I know Nigina is blown away, because she's like, "You know how the size of your church, right?" I said, "I know." I said, "But trust me, it's going to work out." And so I'm trusting you that it's going to work out, okay? And so my wife and I are going to give to this, and we're excited about it. But you'll hear a lot more about that over the next few weeks and months, or next few weeks, but as we go into Christmas. But that goal is lofty. I think it's going to stretch us, but I think we can do it together. And then we're going to trust that God's going to provide as we provide for these kids and really come through for them for Christmas. All right? All right. I've been waiting all week to tell you guys that. So, hey, let me pray, and then we'll dive in the message.